Okay, here we are on my second day of working on the door project. What I'd like to do, I'm thinking, is to cover these cracks. I can either fill them up with something or cover them with a strip, and that's what I'd kind of rather cover them up with a strip. Like maybe if I could rip this down and then have this showing, which would take 1, 2, 3, 4. But this is all I have left is these 3 pieces. So with this particular very rough circle saw cut. Okay, so what we're thinking maybe, because this is like 30, more or less about 35, 36 inches. And these 2 pieces are too short. And I can't get everything I need out of these 2. I don't think. What in the wide world? The dog. Oh, he's howling at the ambulance. You ever seen him do that before? The dog across the way. Both of them now are howling because they can hear an ambulance. Very odd. Okay. Very disturbing. We'll make our final decisions on exactly what we're going to do here and get right back with you. Okay, we've made a few decisions here, but it wasn't exactly ideal, but we're going to sand this piece down. I chopped that one, still got them 2 there, too short. Didn't like all that, too much work, too much ripping to get this view. So we're just going to rip this one down, 4 different pieces, and just let this show the circle cut that saw will make. And I'll just brown it up with the, what do we call it, Danish Holstein, whatnot, give her upper stuff, and we'll just put it right on there, just really slickly and beautifully. Hopefully I won't chop my finger off or nothing. Because that would really be that would get some views if I chop my finger off. We may do the old hot dog test on the saw. This is serious business here, but some of these saws, like, they're cost like $1 million more than mine. They will take a hot dog. This is not plugged up. So this is, wrong way. It's not plugged up, safety first, you know, but anyway, so my finger can go all on here and it don't matter. But never touch it. Never touch it unless it's unplugged. But anyways, they'll demonstrate these saws at different places, and they take a hot dog and they will touch it to the blade as it's running, and it will instantly, the blade will drop down through the deck so fast before it even cuts a little sliver off of the hot dog. So we will try the hot dog test with my saw just to make sure that my saw isn't like a very expensive saw, like, you know, like I got an antique at a store and I didn't realize it was like super. We have here, it's not a regular hot dog. It is, in fact, a sausage hot dog. But anyways, I'm going to do the wiener test and I'm going to fling it over there at them dogs that are howling. Because we don't like to waste around here. But who's going to want to eat it after I put my mouth on it and everything, and then we touch it to the saw blade and everything? Okay, Ellery, you ready to film this? Okay, so just so Ellery knows what's going to go on, I'm going to do the wiener test, fling it, and then I'm going to cut the boards. I may just throw the hot dog over here on the, like that, and then I'll cut the board. Anyways, I like to have a plan in place before we start. Okay. You think that will come off? Now it's going to smell like a sausage dog. Okay. Gotta put it in my hair plugs. Okay. Hopefully this will be safe. It could possibly sling a piece of wiener at you. Because I'm here we still have at least this much for the dog to eat, but let's go investigate what happened to the rest of it. I was expecting it to go that way, but it went this way. This would be your finger over here. I don't know where the rest of it's at, but I'm sure some rodent will find it at some point and enjoy a feast. He will be feasting on a sausage dog. Okay. As promised, at least I'm not going to waste this much. Oi! What's his name? What's the dog's name? Rufus?
No, Scooby.
Scooby? Yeah. Scooby! Hey! Enjoy! So now we have it set, actual to a thickness that might possibly do us some good on the door, because we got ahead of ourselves and excitement of the hot dog test and didn't have it set. We're going to rip this down 4 pieces. Okay, for our non-English speaking audience, to make sure you know what's going on here, we have 4 pieces would be uno, dos, tres, cuatro. 4 pieces. Successfully cut. Finally. So, now we I cut them a little bit over so that we got room to square up the ends, and hopefully I can get rid of this eye pleaser, non-eye pleaser, however you want to look at it. It does add a little character, I guess, if it ends up that way. But anyways, we got our 4 pieces. Not cut the length, and we'll darken them up with the Danish oil. So now we pretty much got all of our pieces made. Now it's time that we just got to make it all. You can't just put it up like this, it won't hold together. You got to put some screws, maybe some glue. Got to have some fasteners, they call them. Got to have a few fasteners. I want to knock some of the fuzz off this. I want the circle cut stuff, which isn't. I could bend a tooth on that and make it really look kind of like that. Maybe just 1 or 2 teeth. That way it's scarred up, but we're just going to leave it like this. I'm going to sand it, just knock some of the fuzz off of it, and then I'm going to got some of my Danish oil, which I've already showed this earlier, but it's this. Anyways, well, I thought I had some in here. It's kind of empty. So I just kind of put this on it as I want to touch something up. Anyway, so I want to add me some new stuff here because I was pretty much out of it. And drop this in here, trying to get on my fingers. But gloves are not required, but it is recommended because it will turn into your fingers somewhat black or brownish color, like possibly you don't handle your toilet paper with care, you know what I mean? Or you chew a lot of tobacco and you have tobacco stains on your fingers. Some kind of brown material, it would appear, will be on your fingers for days. Very hard to get this thing off. So, got a little bit too much on there, it's going to ring around a bit. Anyways, just darkening this up to where it'll kind of match this a little better instead of being so light colored. So I really only have to put it on one side that it'll show because it'll be there a bit. This oil will help protect the wood all the way around. And what the heck, let's just smear it everywhere. You know, just as with the animals or whatever, we just like to share the joy all the way around. Okay, we're done here. We're going to take these clamps because we want to screw through here with our screws into the thicker piece. So we're going to clamp it there and square it all up. And we'll be prepared to start drilling and screwing. Okay, we'll start adjusting it and get it all square before we start screwing it. Okay, let me show you what we got going on here. Okay, flip it. But anyways, we added some clamps here because it's kind of moving around as we bumped it and tried to square it. And now we're going to get ready to say this is good. And we'll start drilling pilot holes because this oak will crack if you do not drill pilot holes. Either your screws are going to break or your wood's going to crack. So you do pilot holes, the proper size for the screws, and then screw it. Okay, here's what we got going here. Got everything we need here. Don't even need this anymore. Bye-bye, tape measure. Who needs a tape measure anyways? But we're going to use these screws. This is what we're going to use for a pilot hole. We've already got a test here, and I can tell it's perfect. But we got these are Star torque screws from down at. Let's give Jim Bob a little plug here. 1012 is my drug. Okay, I love these screws. It almost is like too easy. But we'll try it. We'll do 1 or 2 and we'll try it. Make sure they don't pull. But yeah, that's almost. We look in there. We see if we're cutting threads or not. But it's almost too loose. I may go one size smaller. But anyways, I got my depth set to where we're just a little bit deeper than that screw. Because we don't want to come out this side or you're going to see a bunch of holes. So we can drill all the way down till it hits. And we're still not coming out. It will be the perfect depth. I'm going to do a tester, 1, 2. Very hard wood. I'll pull it back out to clear the tip. Can you see this drill bit very good here? Okay, let me get this screw. For people that don't know, that's what these little grooves are for the wood to have somewhere to go as you drill. So this hard wood, it gets kind of hot or whatever, and it cakes these little grooves up. So I'll pull it back out and let it clear, because if you don't, there's nowhere for the wood to go, and it burns and it don't do a good hole. So anyways, and the bit will get super hot too and end up getting so hot it'll probably break off and everything. Not off right here on my eyeball. They're the ones I have it. These aren't safety glasses. These are cheap dollar store reading glasses that are not prescription, but you know, that's just how I roll. Chuck E. Cheese. Okay, let's try it. Let's see if it strips it. La-dee-dee. I'm pretty confident this is going to work. You know what? I didn't think of this. Hopefully this will work. Oh, Lord. It didn't strip, so I'm going to say that's an ideal size. I can actually take this one off. But anyways, normally a lot of times I would drill a big enough hole for this to pass through without catching it all. That way it'll suck this up tight, but it's just a whole lot easier. We're just going to do one hole. So I'm taking this clamp and holding it really tight to this board. That way it can just not have to have this bigger hole for this to be able to pull down. These boards, as you can tell, are not exactly flat. But when we get done screwing it down, they're going to be flat. So I'm using this clamp to make sure it's good and tight right here, just doing one hole. This wood right here, actually, this white stuff is the sapwood, they call it, on a tree, but toward the outside, because this is actually bark here that I left on. I just kind of smoothed it up. But anyways, this stuff here is not near as hard as this. This is going to try to squish up into there too much, but we'll just not torque it down so tight. It just kind of caved in, so. We'll add some more screws now, but we're getting it flat, and then we'll come back along and put more screws in it. I like it a lot. I wonder if I could do this without my glass. Let's see. I guess not. I can really do it without. Okay, just better off with them, you know. Okay. I'm gonna take this clamp because it's kind of stuck. Excuse me. I do smoke and spin. I make funny faces too. There she is, the final product. It looks like it's just up against the wall, but it actually works. But if I get too close over here, it's very heavy, very super heavy, made out of. Oh, underneath a little oil over there. Anyways, this super big lucky thing here worked pretty good. Oh. Yeah, so then you just, the weather may have changed it a little bit, but it works pretty good. Pretty good. Put some things here where it couldn't peek in, but nice little handle. That's what it looks like on the back side. Remember some of these defects here, the nails. I love it. Don't look too shiny, but it's got a couple of coats of polyurethane and some big heavy black hinges. It looks pretty nice. From the rough, dusty, very rough, dusty.
Click the link below, guys.
What do they say? If you like what I do, click the subscriber button, please. Or don't. I don't really care. Well, I kind of do, but, you know, people just do what they want to do. Some people smoke and spin, though, and that's this guy.